The Witching Hour, October 31st, 2024. But first, please help my humble channel to grow. Like, subscribe, share, comment, any combination thereof. Why? 'Cause you're beautiful on the inside and on the outside. That's why. So I praise God's holy name because He allowed me to pray out the witching hour. So I started praying at. So let me, for y'all who maybe are just watching this video for the first time, the witching hour is between 12:30, or excuse me, between 12 midnight and 3 a.m. And it's according to the time zone you're in. Okay, I know that when it's 12 midnight at one time zone is a different time. It's the time zone that you're in, and that's the time when people are who are witches, Satanists, Luciferians, demon worshippers. They are most active in terms of seances, sacrifices, trying to commune with Satan and with demons. Orgies. It's another thing people do who get into that, where they try to use sex as a vehicle to have spiritual experiences and contact with demons, essentially. So the Lord has me praying during that time when I'm awake, which is probably over 50% of the time, so that the Lord will use me as a sign, as a sign against them, as a way to scorn them, as a way to mock them. Yeah, so the Lord has me praying to Him, the true living, breathing, and exalted God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the same way that they're praying to their false gods. It's funny because all of us are just the work of God's hands. He's infinitely above all of us. He is their creator, those who worship false gods. He's the creator of the demons, right? Who just rebelled against God, and they wound up becoming, they went from being angels to becoming demons, and they were cast out of heaven, just like Satan was. They're nothing compared to God. I am nothing. None of us are anything compared to God. But I had not been praying in the witching hour for like 3 or 4 days consecutively. I was praying during the day. And that's not good. Particularly last night, I'm gonna show you guys something right now. This is my sink. This is a brand new plunger. My sink got stopped up. I plugged up this sink with that, and then I plunged this sink with that. And while the water would drain very slowly, once I did this and started plunging up all this yuck, and it's almost like a half-inch layer there, more so in the drain. It became completely stopped up. The water would take, I don't know, an hour or two to go down. When it finally went down, that was what was left. So this happened to me similarly. I don't believe this was targeting, though I have my suspicions. But I'm very confident that when it happened to me before in the restroom, where it was so bad that a small amount of sewage was coming up in my shower. Now God turned that back on them. This neighbor who targets me really bad, they said he no longer lives there. Apparently he moved out this month. But God gave him something that looked like monkeypox. He just broke out into something. The Lord, oftentimes, He will afflict people who target me hardcore. But this happened shortly after he moved out, so I can only consider it like an FU present to me. But all the sewage went in their room. But that time, just like this time, I was sinning against God before both of these happened. In this case, basically in not wanting to pray. And in this case, last night, I stayed up from like 11 to like 6 a.m. just watching YouTube. Mostly YouTube shorts. I could have prayed in the witching hour. And I didn't. Now, I did get in my prayers, but I didn't start praying until like 4 and I finished at 7 p.m. That's not the witching hour. The witching hour is 12 midnight to 3 a.m. So that was not good. And then just staying up that long is not good, because if I'd stayed up for 16 hours, I'd have probably stayed up till or I'd have gone to sleep around 11, for example. But I ended up staying up for close to like 24 hours. So even though I did stay in bed for close to 8 hours, I'm tired now. But I knew I would be awake at this time, since I was awake till 6 a.m. yesterday. But it's really important to me to pray in the witching hour, particularly today, because it's Halloween. It is October 31st. Halloween it's almost like a high holy day to Satanists, to Luciferians, to devil worshippers. So it was God who made it to where I wasn't even paying attention to the days. All these days, 3 or 4 days, I didn't pray in the witching hour, and then suddenly, boom, we get to October 31st, and I'm like, well, I know I'm going to be awake during the witching hour. I have no excuse. I didn't have an excuse yesterday. I just wanted to lay down and watch videos, and then this happens with my kitchen sink, which God's going to turn to my good. I don't think that was sabotage. I do believe my shower was sabotage, and I believe it was done through this apartment, because it was connected to that apartment. They had to go into that apartment to fix my bathtub, and then it affected my toilet. So water was coming out of my toilet. I think it was clean water, but still, it was water coming out of my toilet, and my toilet is not far from my carpet in my bedroom. So the last thing I want to do is get water, like a significant amount of water on the carpet, so that it can get moldy, and then now you're kind of F with your health. So that got fixed up. But I was messing around, not keeping my prayers a priority, and that's when that happened. And then I was doing the same thing yesterday, and then that happens. So praise God, I'm going to call them in the morning. I didn't want to call them last night when the sink did that, because typically they'll send an elderly man to come by and fix it, and I don't like the idea of them having to send out an elderly man to come by and fix it at some weird hour. So I decided I'm just going to wait till 8 a.m. and then I'll contact them. They're wonderful. I mean, I just feel so grateful for them. And to me, they're a blessing, because you call the car center, they send someone, the person usually comes within an hour, and they usually do a pretty good job fixing it. So I can't use my kitchen sink now. I don't even want to. I'm like, I just want to get it repaired, because that stuff that's in there stinks. I had to wash my hands multiple times. I didn't think all that much stuff was going to come out. So, I mean, it's not sewage, but it's all rotten food, basically. Food that's almost turned to like coal. And the thing that makes me think that might have been targeting, even though I don't think it was that they were supposed to fix it for something not related to it being stopped up, but to a minor leak through where the pipe hooks into the sink. And the dude came by, didn't fix it. Then he came by. I left the door open because I knew he was coming back. He said, "Oh, I gotta go get something, and I'll be back." He comes in real quickly, goes into the kitchen, and then he leaves. And then he never fixed it. So now that this has happened, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 weeks after the bathtub went bad, I'm thinking to myself, did he do something, stick something into my sink that caused my sink to just completely break 3 weeks later, like I just showed y'all? However, I do have to admit, when I wash dishes, I wash them one at a time, and the faucet is just running slowly while I'm washing. I do not fill up the soap or the sink with dishwashing liquid, and then, because the sink's too small to fit that many dishes in there, so I don't do it that way. I just do it one at a time, and I have a cup cleaner that I clean everything with. The suds will go in from the one sink I'm cleaning them on, and they'd come in through the other sink. And that's been happening for a while, and it has gotten progressively worse. So that could be just that the stoppage that was getting progressively worse was causing these bubbles to come up from one sink to the other sink. And maybe it had nothing to do with him zooming in and out, but I don't know. It could have, it could not have, I don't know. But the Lord's teaching me a lesson to stop disrespecting him, to keep these prayers a priority, to do them as soon as possible. And if my behind is awake during the witching hour like it was today, then I need to pray during the witching hour. So I praise God. He got me to get my prayers done. I'm finna go to sleep right now because I'm tired. I'm gonna watch some YouTube shorts, but all my prayers is done. They went almost 3 hours. I said, I love to all y'all beautiful born again TIs. God bless.